Hi everyone, I hope you had a wonderful month of May. This is my May planner and journals update, and I also have some products to go over. And I guess before I get started, I do apologize. My hands are looking a little rough, my nails are chipping, and that is fountain pen ink. Okay, anyways, let's get started with the reading journal. I didn't make too much progress in May, but I did read a little bit every day, so I guess I was consistent. Anyways, I am still currently reading, An Immense World, which is the book about animals and their senses, and I am on chapter 6. I think in my last update I wrote up to here, so yeah, everything here is new. I think I still have about 60% of the book left to go. This I finished in April, so I'm not going to talk about that. I did finish one book in May, and it was Madonna in a Fur Coat. For all of my earlier entries, I used the reading tracker stickers from my store. I keep some in here. But recently I've been trying to stamp a little bit more, so this is done with the reading journal stamp. Which is volume 9, I believe. And yeah, I think for this one I messed up the stamping, so I just restamped it on a sticky note, ripped it up, and pasted it over it. This gorgeous, vibrant green ink is Sailor Cilantro. I got this from the Chicago Pen Show last month, and I think I included it in my previous April journal update. And yeah, I had to ink it up right away. I used the Esterbrook SD, and this is a fine nib. I feel like this ink and the Sweet Dreams pastel colors, they don't really go well together, but I was honestly just like so impatient and I wanted to use this ink immediately. So yes, this was written with Sailor Cilantro. And about the book, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars, leaning more towards 4 stars, I would say. This book really reminded me of White Nights, which I read, was it earlier this year or maybe last year? Apparently I finished it July of 2025, so a little under a year ago. I did enjoy this one more than White Nights. I think I gave that one 3 stars. It's been about a week since I finished the book, and I'm still thinking about it, which is why I haven't started my next fiction book yet. So yes, I finished a book, made some progress in others, and hopefully I can read a bit more in June. Next up, I have my Commonplace journal. So I think last month I left off here with notes about orcas. And then at the bottom here, I have a very short blurb, which is a riddle. Then on this page, I have some diagrams and some notes about a tea organizer that I want to make. I'm not going to make a video about making this tea organizer, but if it does turn out well, I will maybe take some photos or some videos and insert it into one of my update videos. But yeah, so far it has not been made yet. I did acquire a hot glue gun, so hopefully I can get to that soon. Okay, these are notes about cement and concrete. Not really an interesting story. I was walking with my friend and I guess we walked past some buildings, and I was just wondering what the difference between concrete and cement was. This is something that I said while we were walking, and I thought it was kind of funny. Okay, then we have this page, which I guess a lot of my Commonplace journal entries this month, they have been kind of all over the place. This is a little poem, and then here at the bottom I drew some diagrams for a free printable that I wanted to design, and I was getting really frustrated with the layout. It is like a shopping list receipt for the newsletter and also for the 2026 pre-order. I didn't have any scrap paper around me, and I just felt like this urgency, so I opened up my Commonplace journal and quickly made these sketches. So yes, there is that. And then my last entry for this month, which I really need to title these. This was my reading about caffeine, basically how caffeine works, and I was looking into this because Yes, I'll talk about it later. Around a week ago maybe, I really got into making pour over coffee. Before I would just do like instant coffee, but yeah, I've gotten into making pour over and I have been drinking a lot. So I guess like I just wanted to look into how caffeine works. All right, that is everything for my Commonplace journal. Next up, I have my Hobonichi Weeks, which is my health and fitness record keeper. I managed to actually fill out the habit tracker. I'm filming this on Friday, so I don't have the monthly average for May just yet, and I still have slots left to fill. I drew this bar from the end of April into early May to represent that I was traveling. You can see that the steps are looking a little different and I didn't work out during those days. And then towards the middle of May, I also drew a bar to represent that I had a visitor in town, so I also didn't have like my usual workout routine. Then we have the weekly pages. So again, late April into May, I was in Chicago for the Chicago Pen Show, so I just drew a long arrow. I didn't have any like workouts or running stats to put down. I did still jot down a happy thing or two every day. And then for my habit tracker, I only track things that were kind of like feasible while traveling. This was using the Spring Doodles and Spring Critters washi tapes, and I love how colorful it is. And here I put down this like pimple emoji and I wrote because my hives have been coming back, so I felt like this pimple emoji was kind of fitting for the occasion. Alright, then this is the Strawberry Picnic washi, also one of the spring releases, and I love how I did the days of the week. I have some strawberry doodles, plain writing, a little heart, and also a circle. Oh, and I have gotten back into using a running program again, which is what these color-coded runs are for. If you have watched my past videos, I think especially last year, I just like kept getting injured while running. So I think for the past few months, I have just been running very casually, not following any programs, and just trying to get a little bit healthier before I attempt to run longer distances again. This was, I guess, another strawberry-esque week, but I didn't really intend for it to be matching. I drew a bunch of these squiggles to section off the spread because, again, for a few days I had a guest in town, so I didn't really work out during those days. I did some home workouts, but I just didn't really track anything. And then this is this current week. I have a matching spread in my Hobonichi Cousin, which I will show you later, and I really like this color palette. I guess the only notable thing that I will say is I messed up the placement of my tiny icons. Usually I have another habit to track, which is not going on my phone before bed, but I kind of messed up the spacing, so we will forfeit tracking that. And honestly, I have been actually going on my phone before bed. I'm not sure if it's related to the fact that I'm not tracking it this week, but yeah, I just noticed myself sleeping a little bit later. I have my Hobonichi Cousin, and as usual, we'll start with the monthlies. This is an overview of my month. I haven't set up June yet, but I'm really excited because I love these like cooler colors. All right, let's move on to the weekly section. I think this is really fun. I probably talked about it in my previous planner update, but I did this like doodled map thing at the top because again, I was traveling to Chicago. I feel like if I planned this out a little bit more, it would have looked a bit better, but overall, I think it turned out pretty cool. All right, next up we have, this is Funky Spring Patchwork, and this is probably one of my, probably my favorite washi tape that I have designed and released for this year so far. I think it is just so much fun, and I want to do this style for other seasons and maybe some other color palettes as well. We had new releases on this day, so also a really busy week. I got back from Chicago on Monday, and then we had new releases on Saturday, which is kind of crazy. Oh, and then we had Mother's Day. This is a strawberry picnic, which I had the matching spread in my Hobonichi weeks. Similar to the Hobonichi weeks, I made the days of the week matching as well. This washi matches the July 2026 monthly kit, and I hope to continue making matching washis for the rest of the months. I have my next one designed, and I'm not sure I will be able to get through all of the months this year, but we will see. This is another very colorful spread. This is the Fruity Fun washi tape. I unfortunately didn't finish off the spread. I might fill it out retroactively, but I was really excited because I announced the June pre-order event, and then here I put whack because I cut my own hair impulsively and I learned how to sharpen my kitchen knives. I will talk about that later. And then this is this current week. Again, I'm filming this on Friday, so I don't have this filled out. But yeah, this matches with my Hobonichi weeks as well. I really like this color palette and theme. I think it is called Small Happiness, like the sticker set. And yeah, these are like simple life joys, like coffee, breakfast, and this dog that I unfortunately cut in half. All right, let's move into the daily section. Oh my goodness, yes. This is, yeah, I think I showed bits of this in my previous planner update, but again, because I was in Chicago from the end of April to early May, it's kind of all blurred together. But yeah, I did this like tab thingy for my travels. And then usually I have the monthly sticker here, and I had it over here as well, so I peeled it up and I put it on the back of the tab. I also accidentally ripped the sticker, so you can kind of see like a mismatch there. I don't know guys, I feel like this was a little bit too much work, and I think I said in my last update that it's a bit over-engineered. Anyways, this was the vinyl sticker that I gave out at the pen show. Okay, I think there's a bunch of children outside playing right now, which is great. I love that they're playing, but I think my camera might pick up all of the sounds, so I will continue filming this maybe tomorrow. Hello again, it is currently Saturday morning, much quieter today, so let's finish off this video. I think this is where I left off. So yeah, I was still in Chicago here. On Saturday, it was a slower morning. I will say, like, I'm a little bit extreme and kind of obsessive about things. Like, for example, I didn't feel fully adjusted to the time zone difference, but I just like still felt like I needed to wake up at my usual time of 5:30 every day. But yeah, on this day I decided to just like sleep in a little bit and actually chill out. This isn't to like throw shade at my friend or anything, because I think what I'm doing is actually quite unhealthy. But I really am grateful for them, because they really like show me what a more balanced life is like, and they kind of reassure me that like, hey, most people on vacation probably wouldn't have like a meltdown if they don't wake up at the same time every day. There's definitely a difference between being disciplined and obsessive, and I think I'm kind of shifting into the latter category, so I'm trying to be better about that. Anyways, in the afternoon we went to the Art Institute of Chicago, so I saved one of the brochure cutouts. And then in the evening we didn't have any dinner plans, so we basically walked around Chicago for like an hour, maybe more than an hour, trying to find a dinner place that we wanted to eat at. They are a pescatarian, and I also don't like cheese, and I'm trying to like avoid a lot of gluten and sugar due to my skin condition. So yeah, it was kind of hard to find a place, especially without a reservation. We ended up at a place called Havana, which was a Cuban restaurant, and the food was really good. It was just kind of funny because it was so loud, like with the music and talking, that we couldn't really hear each other at all, so we didn't really talk much. Okay, right after I said I was trying to avoid gluten and sugar, I just saw this note that I had my first ever banana pudding at Magnolia Bakery, and I also had a Levain coconut caramel chocolate chip cookie. And I know some people read my more detailed writing, and on my 100 reasons to keep going page, one of the things that I had was try banana pudding. This had been on my bucket list for the past few years, and I'm just so glad that I was able to shared this with my friend. It was really, really good. And I did have about a week of like really bad hives afterwards. I'm not sure if it's related to the banana pudding and cookie, but I would say it was worth it. On Sunday, we had brunch, and for dinner, we just cooked at home because it was my last day there. And honestly, I'm not a big restaurant foodie. I really would prefer like maybe splurging on an expensive piece of salmon and cooking at home rather than like going out to eat. So yeah, that's what we did on Sunday. Monday was when I flew back home, and I wrote all of this at the airport, just kind of like a reflection on this trip. And this was my very ambitious to-do list for when I got back home. I got through some of it, but not all. And as I said earlier, I basically just jumped straight back into work because we had the spring washi tapes launching later in the week. This just triggered a memory. I think I already talked about all of this in my April planner update by accident. But anyways, hopefully you don't mind some repetition. This is probably like one of my favorite sets of washi tapes that I've done in recent years, and I feel like a lot of customers have been saying that as well. This was also part of my previous video where I did the Chicago pen show haul. I'm not going to go over everything again, but I got 4 inks, some writing utensils, and I drew this cute little emoji that says whoops. And then these little doodles, this is my attempt of drawing cilantro to match the cilantro ink that I got. Here I drew this emoji that says itchy because again, my hives was like really bad this week, either due to stress of traveling, new releases, or maybe again it was like the banana pudding or something. So I don't know what this is. Like first I was eating while I had my planner open, and I splattered a little bit of kimchi on here. Not a lot, but I just wanted to like point this out because this exact scenario has happened last year. But I guess I was talking with my friend while I was writing this, so instead of writing kimchi stain, I wrote kimchi stotchy. Like there's no coming back from that. There's no way I could fix that typo, so I just kept it as is. Anyways, here I put my life is falling apart and I can't do this again because again my hives were really flaring up, and I don't know if like traumatized is the correct term, but I do feel like as soon as I think about what happened last summer, I get really scared that it's gonna happen again this summer. So yeah. Anyways, I'm noticing that I missed writing a lot of the headers. You know what? Let's write this in. I also just did an arm workout, so my arms are shaking a little bit. I'm really liking this like orchid purple and yellow green color combo. I think it is so pretty for spring. Here I'm using the Spring Critters washi tape. I got some groceries on this day, and then Saturday we had the spring washi new release, which was really exciting. I think most customers were able to get like the ready to ship stock, which made me really happy. And then on this day I tried out a new drink. This is a sparkling water in a blueberry flavor, and it was really good. This was Mother's Day, and we had a Mother's Day dinner on this day, which was really nice. Monday spread, this one was pretty boring. I don't think I like finished it off, didn't check anything off, and I think I just like didn't feel so well. It happens. By contrast, we have this super colorful and decked out spread. This was inspired by the patchwork washi that I released for spring. So on the left side, I used the washi tapes, and then for the right side, I thought it would be fun to kind of experiment and create a similar vibe just with markers. So I actually doodled all of these quote-unquote fabric patches and all of the stitch marks, and I think it turned out really cool. I like the little buttons. A few reminders: you don't have to do everything every day. Some seasons of your life will be less ambitious, blah blah blah. The second one is to protect your whimsy, continue doing silly and childish things that make you happy. The third one doesn't really make sense because I think my brain was going a bit too quickly and my hands couldn't keep up, so I missed a few words, but it was basically just, while it is important not to let things outside of your control worry you and stress you out too much, it is also important to keep yourself accountable and know that also there are many things within your control, so you don't get stuck in a plateau or something like that. Anyways, one of my customers, Melody, she kindly sent me a bottle of yellow ink, and it is from one of my favorite brands, Amarillo, and I think this is such a gorgeous yellow. Matches this overall spread really well too. This spread was inspired by the Strawberry Picnic washi, and this is where I will quickly show my new Esterbrook. So this was a big surprise. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I guess I already kind of hinted at it. I am working with Esterbrook on some other projects. It probably won't happen for a few months, maybe not even this year, I don't know. But yeah, for one of the sample shipments, I was just like expecting to see the sample products, but Brian kindly gifted me a pen. It was so unexpected. This is one of the Bungu Box collaboration pens, and this is in a broad nib. I don't own an Esterbrook in a broad nib, so I was really happy to add this to my collection. And I think the best part is like the gorgeous sakura prints on the cartridge. I love the pink and gold pairing as well. So yeah, I'm really grateful for this pen. I inked it up with Diamine Earl Grey, which I think is a really nice combination with the pink as well. I think I mentioned this in my last video, but I've really been into drawing these like squiggly lines to kind of divide up my days. This was a really fun day, as you can see. My sister bought a new house a few months ago, and this was my first time visiting. Another purpose of my visit was to gift Luca, my nephew, this like wooden kitchen playset that I got for him last August for his birthday. We just like never put it together, and yeah, overall it was just a fun day. We went to White Spot for dinner. Saturday and Sunday, I love this color palette. I just drew some daffodils, and then Sunday was when my friend came over for their visit, and I wanted to chef it up in the kitchen. I made mango sticky rice because mango is their favorite fruit, and I also made moi moi, which is like a Nigerian dish. Basically cleaned the house, and in the evening we watched a movie called Primer, which was really good. Then this is another one of my cut up spreads. So I combined the 18th, 19th, and 20th together, and I made a whole video about it. So Monday we basically just stayed at home. Tuesday we went downtown and checked out a coffee shop, went to Brandy Melville, and then Wednesday I just had a bunch of things to do. This is what was left after I ripped out the page. Thursday was supposed to be a catch-up day, but then as I also said in that video, I forgot to take my meds on this day. So I was just super out of character and erratic. I was super sad in the morning, and I ended up impulsively cutting my own hair. I also learned how to sharpen my kitchen knives, so I spent a lot of the evening doing that. And this is like when I realized that it was because I forgot to take my meds. I think it's actually kind of interesting because when I properly take my meds, I don't actually really notice it. And sometimes I feel like I don't even need medication, but it is the days that I forget to take it where I'm like, yep, the medication is actually doing something. Okay, anyways, because so much happened on Thursday, I didn't get to write everything, so I did a recap on Friday. Also on Friday, I announced the June pre-order event. And then for Saturday, oh, this was really fun. I went to this like journaling social meetup in downtown Vancouver. It was at Cafe Mary, and I got an iced matcha, and it was just really fun. I sat in one of the back tables, and I actually made a few new friends, which was really cool. All right, then Sunday, this is when I started my pour over coffee journey. Despite my name being TheCoffeeMonsterzCO, you might be actually surprised to know that I don't know too much about coffee, and that I'm not like super into specialty coffee. On a day-to-day basis, I just drink instant coffee, and sometimes I will do like a French press or an AeroPress, but otherwise I'm just like not really picky about it. But yeah, I'm starting to learn a little bit more about it, and it has been really nice because instead of just like chugging instant coffee in the morning, I'm actually taking a few extra minutes to brew myself a really nice cup, and I feel like it's kind of starting my day off on a slower and calmer note. So yeah, it's been less than a week, so hopefully it's not like a short-lived hyperfixation and I actually like continue with this. And my realization was that what I consider to be 1 cup of coffee is definitely not a standard cup of coffee. So like my 4 cups of coffee is probably more like 8 cups, which is kind of insane. Anyways, I guess I was having an abnormal day. This was also using the stickers from this set. I was gonna reveal the stamps on this day for the pre-order, but I just like didn't have it in me. I wasn't having a very good day, so I just crossed it off and wrote never mind, and then I ended up doing it on Wednesday. Here I drew this emoji annoyed at my mom because my mom like texted me and she was like asking about my whereabouts and it sounded really serious, and I kept asking her to tell me like what was wrong, like what she needed, but she just like wouldn't tell me. She also wouldn't pick up the phone. And as some context, my dad recently had gone through a few episodes with his heart, so I guess like in general I am a little bit more on edge. But after repeatedly calling her and asking her to tell me like what was wrong, she ended up calling me back, and turns out because it was a really hot day, she wanted me to move her cucumber plants out of the sunroom, and she just didn't want to bother me. So yeah, that was a sigh of relief, but I just wish she would have just like told me. And yes, I did run to their house and move the cucumber plants. Thursday, I got this like pitcher kettle thingy. This is for pouring water for the pour over coffee. And I also got an order of coffee beans. This was my spread from yesterday, and as you can see, I didn't finish it. Yesterday was kind of a weird day as well. I don't really mind having empty spaces, but I feel like I can easily finish this off, so I might do that later. Oh, and I wrote day 1 here because I planted, is that the right word, some microgreens, so this was day 1 of that. And then moving to the back, I only have 1 empty for this month, and it is Phil's Coffee. I got this from a customer named Anna in San Francisco, and I hadn't used it for the past several months because, again, I usually just drink instant coffee, and I felt like it was kind of a waste to open the bag just to have French press like once in a blue moon. So I'm actually really glad I saved it because it was a really good start to my pour over coffee journey. And then for my weight, rather my planner's weight, not my weight, April was 534 grams, so up a little bit. I haven't weighed May yet because we are still on May 30th, but I guess I will show you in the June planner update. All right, that is everything. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Take care and bye.